I'm taking the Chiefs, but Skip, of all the games, this one has me the most concerned because people don't realize just how good this team, how talented the Colts are, especially offensively. And the thing that the Chiefs can really do is they can get after your quarterback. Chris Jones, 14.5 sacks. Dee Ford had double-digit sacks. Justin Houston once had a season in which he had 22 sacks. So he can rush the passer. But when you have 3 first-rounders starting with the center and going to your left, and you take Brandon Smith with the second pick in the draft, you can neutralize that. You saw the job that they did against the Houston Texans, J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney, merciless. They can get after the quarterback. But Andrew Luck went unscathed. I expect the Chiefs, this is going to be a shootout. I got a shootout. I got it 38-33. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. Skip, and I knew this was going to happen. The moment that they lost Kareem Hunt, he was the 3rd leading rusher. Yep. So not only could he run the football, Skip, he's one of these dual threat. He was in that mold of a Gurley, the Zeke, what we see, guys that not only could rush the ball, that could also catch it and get the ball into the end zone. Not only did he help that it had a dual effect, it brought, you can look at it 2 ways. Did it bring Kansas City back to the pack, or did it help the pack catch up to Kansas City? Whichever way you want to look at it, that's been a big absence. What concerns me most about Kansas City is their defense. Because if they don't get the opposing quarterback on the ground, that ball's getting completed. It is the worst. Like you said, New England has the worst offensive receivers, worst skill positions. Oh, they don't, no question. Kansas City has the worst DBs in all of football. And it's not even close. So that concerns me. And Andrew Luck is playing unbelievable. Andrew Luck doesn't shy away from the moment. He's a big game hunter. And he plays good. There are very few games in the playoff, Skip, in his career in which he hasn't played well. Now, you can look at that stinker, that AFC Championship game against New England, but nobody played particularly well. They ran the ball for like 200-plus yards. Tom Brady was flawless in the second half with regulation football, if the other was under-regulated, whatever, however you want to look at it. But they took them apart. But that was, in his playoff career, with the exception of that game, I think Andrew Luck has played extremely well. I expect him to play well again, but I just think Mahomes and the Kansas City's offense will be too much.
30, what'd you say?
38-33.
38-33.
Yeah.
So after you made such a strong case for the Colts, I'm surprised you're not picking the Colts. Why? Because you stuck on your Mahomes boy?
Yep.
Really?
I just believe Andy Reid and Mahomes going to get that thing right this time. Because you got to break the curse sometimes, Skip. You just can't keep losing playoff games, especially at home.
Interesting. I am picking the visiting team because the visiting team is simply better than the home team. And you were going there, but then you...
I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
And you wouldn't go over the ledge, right?
Yep.
So all I know is that the Indianapolis Colts have won 10 of their last 11. They did have one little stinker somewhere along the trail. It was at Jacksonville, and they lost 6-0. But remember, Jacksonville only scored 6.
Right.
So what has happened over that 11-game stretch that people are sleeping on? The Colts defense has happened. Darius Leonard has happened.
He's unbelievable.
He didn't make the Pro Bowl, and now he's just playing possessed. Well, I don't know how, but they're probably happy he didn't this year because he's out of his mind. He had 13 tackles as they just demolished the Texans at Houston once again in the first round of the playoffs. And do you realize that defense is #1 in points allowed over the last 11 games in the National Football League? So right now, the best defense in the world is this defense. Who's talking about that? Nobody. And Andrew Luck hasn't been like all-time great, but his offense has been top 5 in every category over the last 11 games.
Yes.
There's a little more dink and dunk going on. But what does he have that you didn't mention? He's got the hottest running back in the league.
Oh, yeah, Marlon Mack.
Marlon Mack. So he's a 4th-round 2017 draft pick out of South Florida. Who knew? So here again.
The Bulls.
Okay. He's a Bull. And once again, you're going to hear GMs and personnel directors say, well, you know, this is the argument why you don't really have to take somebody at the top of the draft because you can find him in the 4th round. You found Terrell Davis in the 6th round. You can find them.
But is Marlon Mack, give you a choice. You can take Marlon Mack or Todd Gurley. Who you taking? You can take Zeke Elliott or Marlon Mack.
Okay, I am with you on that, but I can't argue against what he's doing.
No. Oh, he's unbelievable.
Because he had 139 against my Cowboys, and at Tennessee he had 125, and against the Texans this past weekend he had 148. So he's, over the last 4 games, his 440 yards lead the league.
Yep.
Okay, so he's the hottest back. He's not the best back. But every time I watch him, I say, man, he's slippery.
And
he runs hard.
Terrible against the run, too.
They're terrible. So they've allowed the 2nd most yards in the league, 24th in points allowed. They are tied for first in sacks. So
8th in takeaways.
They got that going, but you just talked about how Andrew Luck is operating behind the best offensive line in the league.
He got a great wall.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the great wall is going to at least neutralize that pass rush.
Yes,
right? It won't stop it.
Yes.
He'll get sacked 3 times.
Now, the question is, Skip, can they make the Colts play from behind, get the crowd into it, because that's loud. That place starts rocking. Now, you talk about a loud stadium, that place gets to rocking. Now, can they jump the count?
Well, you know it well.
Yeah.
Which brings us back to what Jenny mentioned up front. The weirdest stat in the NFL is they've lost their last 6 home games. Wait a second. They haven't won a home game since Joe Montana was the quarterback on January the 8th, 1994. It's after the 93 season.
You know,
they beat the Steelers in overtime. That's a long time ago.
But you know how you get out of there with a win? You don't turn the ball over.
Okay.
When we went there in when we went there, Skip, and beat them in the playoff game in the divisional round, we didn't turn the ball over. It was a 14-10 ball game.
That would help.
They pride themselves on that. They'll get a scoop and score. They'll get a pick 6. They'll get the crowd into the game, put their offense on a short field, and here they go. You got to take care of the football in that building, especially because you do not want the crowd to get into the game and get going.
Okay. So the new coach of the new regime that has taken over here is the Andy Reid regime. But if you go all the way back, they're 1-11 in their last 12 playoff games. But Andy Reid in Kansas City is 1-4 in the playoffs. So Andy Reid over his career is 11-13. Not bad, but not great. Because, again, my take on Andy Reid as the season wears on, he's a finesse football coach. He's not a driver. He's not. There's no Jimmy Johnson in him either. He's not going to light fires. His teams don't play physical football.
Right.
It's finesse. He's going to outwit you. He's going to out-scheme you.
Right.
He's not going to out-hit you. That's not what they are. And you know, in this league, the deeper you get,
you got to be physical.
You just got to be physical.
Because normally, Skip, with the exception of with New Orleans or something like that, normally the games are going to be played outside.
Yep.
And it's going to be cold. And so the physicality is an absolute must. Another thing that concerns me about the Kansas City Chiefs, Skip, they do dumb things. They get dumb penalties. They get a lot of pre-snap penalties. They get a lot of unnecessary roughness, unsportsmanlike conducts, a lot of hand. So
why is that? Because Andy Reid he's not a disciplinarian.
Yes.
He doesn't crack the whip. He's not going to be fire and brimstone speeches. He doesn't motivate by fear. I don't think the team is afraid that he might cut somebody tomorrow.
Right. And the quickest way to lose in a playoff game is to do dumb things.
Okay.
That'll get you beat.
So, of all these games, my strongest conviction is this one.
Wow.
I got it 38-24. I think they're going to win handily. I think Andrew Luck and company with that defense, I just think they're better than Kansas City.
Well, you got to get ahead of the sticks because they're going to play a cover 2. Skip, they're a cover 2 team. Tampa 2 at that, and what they do is they let it get you behind the stick, make it 2nd and 10, 2nd and 12, and then they can drop into coverage. They don't want to play man coverage, Skip. That's not what they want to do.
And Patrick Mahomes had a tremendous first year as a starting quarterback.
Oh!
Just tremendous.
Greatest one ever.
But you know what? He wasn't quite as tremendous in his 4-night big stage games. And
Skip, stop that.
I don't know.
That's true, though.
That's true. He just wasn't.
The man, hold on, let this sink in. The man scored 37 points a game, had 15 touchdowns, threw the ball for 350 yards in those losses.
Okay.
His defense gave up 40. Let that sink in. Now, if I go into a game and say, hey, I'm going to get y'all 37, go throw for 3 touchdowns, go throw for 350 and give you about 4 tubs. Can y'all handle that D? Oh, we got you. Because that's what he did, Skip. He scored 51, and they lost. He scored 40, and they lost. He scored 28, and they lost. He scored, another 28, 31, and they lost. Skip, come on, man. Now look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady scored 30. He gave up. He scored 33. Can I interest you in that? Can I interest you in 33? This man scored 51.
Can I interest you with me taking the Colts for a case of Diet Dew?
What?
Yeah.
You want it straight up?
Yeah, I'll take it straight.
Oh, you want it straight to that. I want all that.
Do you?
I'm jumping on it. Like my granny said, I'm jumping on it with both feet.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. I'm giving you every advantage to get the lead on me. I'm taking hopeless underdogs. I'm taking.
Hey, no, hopeless.
Listen,
Stop.
I've got a hopeless Dallas underdog, -7. They're a 7-point underdog. I'm taking a hopeless underdog at Kansas City, -5.5, but I'm going to take them because I have the courage of my convictions.
DJ, cue the record. Cry me a river.
Oh, this Colts Chiefs game. It's the warm-up
You need to
for
stop, Skip.
Skip's main event.
I think you like my pick.
Will the Cowboys shock the world tomorrow? Good news, their ambassador, Eric Dickerson,